Hey, how's it going? In this video, we're gonna break down the number one thing, and I'm not even lying, right? The number one thing that will make or break whether you enjoy your life or not, right? I kind of worded that weird, but we're gonna go with it anyway, right? Now, I know a lot of people say, it's the number one thing, this is the number one thing you need to do, blah, de blah, de blah, right? And, maybe I am exaggerating a little bit, but I am being honest when I say, I genuinely think this is the number one thing that if you do, you will enjoy your life more, right? So if you want to enjoy your life more, if you want to stop living a boring life, or you just want to live less of a boring life, I'm not, claiming that you're living a completely boring life, but if you're living a life where you think it's a bit more boring than I would like, right? I would like to enjoy my life more. I do think that if I enjoy my life more, that would be considered a better life, right? And I want to enjoy it as much as I can, and you just intuit that that's one of the most important things about life is to enjoy it, then this video is going to be a pretty detailed explanation of what to do, how to do it, and also giving context of like why you're not already doing it and why it's not a normal thing. So the one idea I want to get across in this video is pursuing greatness through your deepest passions in life. Now, we're going to come at this from, it's not just like a self-help like kind of stance of like, yeah, just, pursue your passions and just a vague kind of cliche statement and, and then just leave you kind of empty-handed. Like, oh, okay, I still don't know what to do. We're really going to come at this from, a philosophy standpoint, and philosophy in the sense of you really thinking through this for yourself, not just, listening to me and then just believing or not believing, but really thinking this through for yourself. We're going to come at it from a standpoint of as practical as we can make it, like literally giving you the step-by-step framework to go and actually pursue greatness through your deepest passions in life. And we're also going to come at this from an understanding of culture, society, social conditioning, right? Psychology, and honestly, why you're not already doing this. Because you should be, right? And look, there's no shoulds in life. I really don't believe, from my worldview, there's no shoulds in life. But if you want to enjoy your life, then you should be doing this. Based on your goals, right? Then there's shoulds. So if you have a goal of wanting to enjoy your life, then you should be pursuing your passions at the very least. And really, if you want to enjoy your life as best as you can, then you should pursue greatness in those passions. And I'll explain why. So let's give a bit of context here. What is pursuing greatness through your passions? Well, your passions, first of all, are the things you enjoy doing for the sake of doing them, right? Your hobbies, the things you enjoy doing. So for some of you, it's going to be sports, right? It's going to be music, art, right? It's going to be things that you just really enjoy doing, the act of it, not to get any external reward, not to get to the future, but the actual act of doing it you enjoy. For me, it's making music, it's playing table tennis, it's socializing, it's recording videos like this, it's one-on-one coaching like I do with my clients, it's public speaking, it's traveling the world, hiking, going into nature, those type of things, right? Learning, studying, contemplation, philosophy. These are my passions in life, my hobbies in life, right? For you, it's going to be different, but they're a passion because you enjoy doing them for the sake of doing them, right? So that's why if you pursue your passions, it's the easiest way to enjoy your life more. Because really what you're doing is you're just doing more of the things you enjoy. And that is really this is the most obvious lesson I want to kind of put out there, that you're just going to be like, of course, right? The easiest way to enjoy your life more is just to do more of the things you enjoy. If you're like me, right, you've watched countless self-help videos, read self-help books, studied spirituality, and you're into all of that, right? And you're trying to improve your life. And most of those things are improving your life, right? But You're doing all of that, and you almost leave out the most obvious way to enjoy your life more, which is just doing more of the things you enjoy. It's so obvious. But at the same time, I guess it's not obvious because most people aren't doing it. And even someone like you who's into self-help and who's trying to improve their life and is studying and, trying to do more than the average person, you probably still aren't pursuing your passions at the highest level. You're probably not even pursuing your passions, anywhere near as much as you should, right? So the basic idea, if you want to enjoy your life more, is just do more of your passions. But what I'm proposing in this video is not only just do more of your passions, but pursue greatness in your deepest passions in life. The greatness side is because to pursue greatness means you're going to dedicate yourself as much as you can to your passions. It means you're going to dedicate your time, your energy, your focus. You're going to make it central in your life, not something on the outside, a tertiary or a secondary thing, but a primary thing, right? It's not something that should be, it's a nice thing to have, or it's a thing that I do on the side. No. When you're pursuing greatness, it's the thing you're pursuing greatness in is central. It's the most important thing, if not one of the most important things, right? When you think of the idea of a Michael Jordan, right, who pursued greatness and achieved greatness in basketball, that wasn't something he put to the side. He didn't pursue greatness, by, playing basketball a couple times a week, right? He made it the main thing in his life. Or a Michael Phelps, or, whoever you want to pick. Some of my role models is a guy called Owen Cook. Search him on YouTube, amazing public speaker. A guy called Leo Gora, again, another amazing public speaker, coach, teacher on self-help and spirituality. Those, to me, are great. But they didn't achieve that greatness through just kind of doing a little bit of coaching and teaching. They dedicated their life to it. So they're my examples, but there's many examples, right? And Martin Luther King didn't make the change he made through just making it a little hobby on the side, Nelson Mandela didn't make it a little hobby on the side. Mother Teresa didn't make it a hobby on the side. All of your favorite musicians, right? Who are your favorite musicians? They didn't do that. They didn't achieve greatness through making, it's just a little hobby that they did on the side a couple of times a week. No, they made it central. They made it central. And what I'm saying is, the important thing isn't necessarily that you achieve greatness and that you're seen as being great at that thing, and that you're validated for that. Those things are nice, right? Those things you're of course going to enjoy, right? But that's not the main thing. The reason I'm saying that you should pursue greatness through your passions is because the pursuit of greatness means you're dedicating yourself to that passion wholeheartedly. You're making it central. And when you make your deepest passions in life central and you don't push them to the side, then to me, it's pretty obvious then that's going to lead to even more enjoyment in your life, right? Because what's the alternative, right? Well, we can look at how most people live their lives. We can look at okay, what it would be like to then pursue your passions to a decent degree. And then we can look at what it would be like to pursue your passions and become great at them. Living a normal life, most people barely have passions. And so they live a life that they don't really enjoy. They're doing work that they don't enjoy. They come home and, they do things that they don't really enjoy. Not in a deep sense. Right? Maybe they get some enjoyment from TV and film or looking after their children, or, most people get, passion from being with their kids, or at least they have a lot of meaning from that. But, even that comes with, consequences, and that comes with, negatives. of like the responsibility, the extra pressure. And, you know, like think about the way most people live. Then they don't have many hobbies. How many hobbies do your parents have? If they're like the average person, little to none, which is crazy. But, you know, maybe you've got creative, artistic, and passionate parents. Well, you might not be watching this video, to be honest, because you'd already be following your passions, right? But maybe you have, you know, parents that are fairly artistic, fairly passionate. Well, then notice that's lucky. Most people aren't like that, right? But again, how much are they really dedicating to it? Your friends as well. How many passions do they have? How many hobbies do they have? Maybe a little bit extra because they're younger and they've got more energy, and, you know, maybe the social conditioning is a little bit different now. So it's a bit more, you know, it's a bit more normal to follow some passions. Still not anywhere near the amount that you should be, but look at your friends. How many passions do they have? How much time and their life energy are they dedicating to their passions? Probably not a lot. They're probably spending more time scrolling fucking TikTok, right? And again, like, it's normal. Like, it's not necessarily like I'm judging them because they're doing something wrong. It's only wrong if it goes against your goals, right? There is no shoulds. It's not wrong to scroll TikTok. The universe isn't going to be like, oh, you're doing something wrong because you're scrolling TikTok and living a passionless life. It's only wrong if you want to live a passionate life and that's not actually creating a passionate life for you. You know, there's only good and bad based on your goals and based on what you want, really. That's my worldview, at least. But like, really, look around. Most people do not live passionate lives. So that's the average, that's the normal. Then you go to the next stage where you start to follow your passions. You get a hobby, you start painting, you start playing music, you start a sport, you're in a club, and you do it maybe once, twice a week or so. And you start to get some enjoyment, some passion from that, right? And you come away feeling good about it, right? You come away feeling good. You come away, you know, feeling like you've just been really engaged and you feel kind of lit up from that. In the actual act of doing it, you're enjoying it. You're like, damn, it's one of the most enjoyable parts of your week. So that's kind of like the second stage. Now, the third stage is you're pursuing greatness through those deepest passions that you have, and your whole life, or a huge part of your life, is dedicated to your passions. Now, can you see how, like, at each stage there's a jump in enjoyment? Okay, the average person has no passions in life, right? Or very little passion. Then it's jumped. Okay, this person is actually at least, you know, once, twice, 3 times a week following passions. They've got more enjoyment in their life now. Now, this greatness, pursuing greatness in their passions, the enjoyment is even higher because, again, they're doing more of what they enjoy. That's the main thing I'm trying to get at here. I'm not saying you have to become one of the greats. That is a cool thing to do. Don't get me wrong. I kind of want to become one of the greats in self-help and spiritual teachings like this, and becoming just one of the greatest public speakers on these topics. That is, you know, part of my goal. But it's not really the main thing, though. The main thing is, how much can I do my deepest passions in life, and how much enjoyment can I get from them, and how much can I just make my life about my deepest passions in life? That's better than just, you know, having someone say you're the greatest. You see what I mean? It's the experience of it. It's the enjoyment. It's the passion that you feel, that you experience through pursuing your passions at a very high level. That's what I'm trying to get across here in this video. Now, I want to give a bit of context because you might be thinking, like, for example, the lesson I gave of, like, the easiest way to enjoy life is to just do more of what you enjoy, right? That's so obvious. But because it's so obvious, you might be thinking, well, then why haven't I been doing it? Or if you didn't think that, you probably should be. Why haven't I been doing it? If that's so obvious, why am I not following my passions, even, a few times a week, right? Why am I not doing that? And the answer is, well, there's quite a few reasons, but a big reason is because you had a bad education. You just did. Don't get me wrong. There's many pros of our education system compared to 100, 200 years ago. But we're still in the dark ages, right? The amount of time it takes to teach someone, right, it's important that you live a passionate life. Here's how you figure out your passions. Here's how you go and actually start doing them as much. And here's really how you live a life where you're pursuing your passions. It doesn't take that long to teach that. It's actually not that hard to teach that. It's not that of an extreme lesson. And it's not that radical. It's pretty simple. It's pretty obvious that you'd teach that. But they didn't. They didn't teach you that. So the context here is that our culture, our society, did not educate you, did not teach you to do this. Instead, they taught you the exact opposite. They didn't just not teach you to pursue your passions. In fact, they indoctrinated you to do the opposite so that the society could continue its survival in the same way it was surviving. Because really think about it, right? Kids, they're passionate, right? They're interested in a lot of things. They enjoy a lot of things. And the things they enjoy, they want to do more of, right? They want to keep playing. They want to play. They want to make games. They're very creative. They have a lot of passion, way more than the average adult. It's pretty obvious to notice that, right? But then they grow up. They grow out of it. No, they were indoctrinated out of it, right? And I'm using that word indoctrination in the technical sense. Indoctrination being you were taught something without being taught to then question it and figure things out by yourself. You were just taught and forced to memorize, to learn, and accept a bunch of beliefs. Taught to memorize and believe and accept a bunch of views on life. For example, that you need to get XYZ type of job, that it's normal to work a job that you're not that passionate about. That's not normal, or at least it shouldn't be. But here we are, most people working jobs they hate. When there are many people as well following, doing jobs that they love, that they enjoy. But they're the few that broke out, right? Whereas most people do not have jobs they enjoy. But why? It's not like they couldn't. We have the opportunities now, right? I'm speaking to you. You're probably living in a developed country in 2026, right? So we have the opportunities to follow our passions. If you're living in a developed country, Europe, America, UK, right? Even in developing countries nowadays, where survival is a lot harder, there are many examples of people being able to break out of that, even though it's a lot harder, and pursuing their passions. Artists, musicians, athletes coming from developing countries, they were able to break out. But if you're in a developed country with all the opportunity, now that's a different story. That's a lot easier to do if you were taught to do it. Or at least you weren't taught not to do it. So the context here as to why you're not doing this is because you were indoctrinated to do the opposite. You were indoctrinated to get good grades, to learn XYZ subjects, to then get good grades in those subjects, to then go to university, to then get a job, and get a house with a white picket fence. And I guess those ideas are starting to crumble now. But they're still about. They're still a thing. Even just the belief that it's normal for you to not enjoy your job. Where did you get that idea from? The people around you, your parents, your society, your culture, your education system. The fact that teachers hate their jobs, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of teachers don't like their jobs. And that comes out, whether it's verbally or just you can sense it. And so if you're learning from someone who hates their job and they're meant to be helping you get a job, either through explicitly, verbally saying, oh, I don't like my job, or this is stressful, or just through osmosis, you're learning from someone who hates their job how to get a job. You think that's not going to affect how you think about jobs? Oh, it's fucked. So again, we veered off to the job side, but again, it's like, it's worth talking about because your job takes 8 hours of your day, give or take. That itself is the main obstacle from you pursuing greatness in your deepest passions in life. If you can get a job where you're doing your passions, that is the road to greatness through your passions. That is the road to the most passionate life. Because it's very hard to make your passions your main thing if you have to work 8, 9, 10 hours a day doing something you don't enjoy. Right? So the context here is you've been indoctrinated by your society, by culture, that it's normal to live a life where you're doing a job you don't really enjoy and your life isn't that passionate. Whether it was explicitly told to you or it was just learned through osmosis. So what are we going to do about it? Right, I hope I've got you a bit fired up now, and then you just want to actually crack on with figuring out your passions and actually making it a reality. Because the alternative is you just continue doing what you're doing. You don't really live a passionate life. And you waste years, decades of your life just not enjoying your life. And, you can achieve success. You can make a lot of money. You can travel the world, which will give you some enjoyment, if you like traveling. Maybe you'll have success in your relationships, but there'll still be something lacking. And it will just be the overall just approach to life where you're pursuing success, but you're not pursuing passion. And you're making money, going on some holidays every now and then, even achieving success in the eyes of others. You're putting that as central, instead of putting living a life full of passion as central in your life. That's the overall way you're approaching life if you go down the average mainstream, way of living. Even the mainstream self-help way of living. So if you don't want that, if you're like, fuck that, I don't want that, that's shit, I just don't want it. Now we can get to the actual practical advice. So following your passions is pretty easy, right? You probably have passions right now where all you need to do is just start doing more of them. But if you don't have passions, here's how you go about discovering them, right? First of all, even if you do have passions, you can discover more passions. You may even discover passions that you're even more passionate about, right? So here's how you discover your passions. Get a pen and paper and write at the top of the paper, what do I enjoy doing? Or what have I enjoyed doing? And you just list as much as you can. Try to write 50 things down, right? Oh, I went fishing that one time, I enjoyed fishing. Fishing, football, walking, hikes, going into nature. I enjoy writing, etc., etc., etc. You just write a whole list. Then you get another page, you flip the page, and at the top of that page, you say, what am I interested in? What things have I been interested in? Then you start writing. For me, I'm interested in psychology, in mindset, spirituality. I'm interested in different cultures, religion, right? Etc., etc. You write a whole list of all the things you're interested in. Now you take that list and you look at it, and if you're struggling to think of things that you're enjoying right now in your life or things that you're interested in right now, go back to when you were a teenager, when you were a child, right? There's many things over that time that you have enjoyed, that you have been interested in, and write as many as you can. Honestly, try to aim for like 50. Just because I want you to really I want it to click in your mind that there's so much that you actually enjoy, but you just skip over it. Maybe you did it once or twice and then you just never did it again, right? One example I can think of is I really enjoy go-karting, but I barely ever do it. And if I did more go-karting, my life would be better, right? So there's many things like that for you, right? So you got to write them all down. Then you want to look at that list and you want to circle like the top 5, right? The top 5 things you've enjoyed doing, the act of doing it, and the top 5 things you're interested in, right? That you've got an interest to learn about it, right? Now, look at that list and just start Googling all the places you can go to do the things that you enjoy, right? For example, I really enjoy playing table tennis. And I realized I should be doing more. I want to get better at it. I want to pursue greatness in table tennis to the extent that I can at this age. I'm 25, so I don't think I can become world class and great in the eyes of the world, but I can become very, very good at it and I can pursue greatness, right? The main thing is I enjoy it and I want to just dedicate more and more time to it. And so I started Googling, okay, where can I do it? And then I found a bunch of places I can go. And I found one that's not even that far away. That's been there forever, right? Been there for like 15 years. So you'll start Googling and start researching. If they're like passions that you need to do as like a group, kind of like, or just with other people, start searching places you can do that. XYZ in my local area or XYZ in wherever the area you live is. Find all the places, write them down, right? For the passions that you can do by yourself, let's say if you like painting or you like playing guitar or whatever it is, then just realize, okay, I can do them pretty much whenever I have free time at home, right? Now you've got a list of the top 5 things you enjoy and your interests, and you can start to just study and learn about those interests whenever you have free time. Start to research certain books on those things, videos on those things, and just really start to look at resources where you can learn more about your top 5 interests, right? Now, you have a list of the top 5 things you enjoy doing or that you've enjoyed doing in the past, the top 5 things you're interested in. Now, you also have a list of all the places you can go to do the things that you enjoy the most, and you've got a list of all the books, resources, and videos that you can start learning about. Now, all you have to do is start doing them. Start doing more and more of them. And then as you're doing more and more of them, you're taking more action on these things and you're learning about the interests, then you want to start to observe which ones do I actually enjoy the most experientially. Not what I think I enjoy the most, but when I'm actually doing them, which ones am I enjoying the most? Then you want to start doing more of those, right? And you can also, maybe 10, 20% of the time, start to try and figure out, what are other passions I could be interested in or other things I could enjoy doing, and start testing those things out. Every now and then, maybe pick up a new hobby. And again, observe how much you enjoy it. If one of those new hobbies you enjoy more, start doing more of that, right? And eventually what will happen is you may figure out there's 1, 2, maybe 3, maybe it'll be 5, who knows? There's different amount of things for different people, but you'll figure out like the core few passions that you really enjoy more than all the rest. Then what you want to do is you want to commit to these few things and really just pursue greatness in those few things, right? Just dedicate more of your time, your energy, and your focus to those few things. And then you should basically be thinking, how can I make this into a job or a business, right? What jobs are out there that I can actually just do this passion? Let's say if your passion is, playing guitar, well, then it's clearly like, well, one of the jobs you could do is be a performer, like a musician, right? Or you could be, you can make music for films and be a guitarist making music for films, right? Or let's say your passion is, I love chess. Well, then one obviously clear idea is you go and become a chess master, a chess professional. Or maybe, you can't get that good. Let's say you just, for whatever reason, maybe it's too late to become a chess master, which usually for chess actually is not too late. You could become amazing at it because it's not like necessarily physical. But let's say it was a physical thing, like you're already 30 and you feel like you've discovered your passion for basketball. Then maybe you can do something else within basketball where you can pursue greatness in that. Maybe you can become a coach, for example. But you want to find your biggest passions and you want to pursue them. Some of them, you're going to pursue greatness in them, but it's not going to be the main thing that you make money from. But there might be one or two things that you can either do or combine that can become your career or your business, right? And you want to then, as soon as you figure out, okay, it's either this type of job that I could do, or I could do this type of business where I can provide value to other people, where they're willing to pay me to do my passion, right? Then you just go full force on those couple passions, and you do more and more and more of it. You get so good at it that, again, your people are willing to pay you to do it, whether it's through a job or a business. Now you've started to, finally you land the job or you start the business and you start making money through those passions, which may take a while, but once you finally have done that, now you've opened up so much more time for you to dedicate to that passion, because now you don't have to work a job that you don't enjoy, because now you're making money through your passions. And now you really have the opportunity to become great, because again, the only way you're going to become great is if you dedicate time, energy, and focus to that, and you just basically make it central in your life. And really the only way you're going to be able to make it central in your life is if you're not working 8, 9, 10 hours at some other job that you don't enjoy, doing something completely different. Right? It's almost impossible to become great at something when you've only got 2 hours spare a day to do it. Right? So that is really the practical way to go about it. It's not that complicated. You just figure out, okay, I enjoy these aspects of life. I enjoy doing these things. These actions I enjoy more than others. I'm biased, I'm selfish, I like these things over these things, that's completely fine. These are my passions. Okay, I've discovered that. They're just things I enjoy doing for the sake of doing them. Now I'm just going to do more of them. And I'm going to do more, and I'm going to do more, and I'm going to do more. And in this process, I'm going to start to enjoy my life more. I'm also going to get better at them. And the better I get, the more I can enjoy them, because there is an enjoyment in mastery as well, in getting better at something, especially when you're getting better at something you're deeply passionate about even before you're that good. And you just keep doing more and more of it. You just keep getting better, and you get so fucking good that people pay you to do it, which then allows you to get even better because you've got more time to get even better at it. And that is what the process is. Now, the actual, specifics of what you should pick and, how you're going to get better at it, that's all individual, right? But you'll figure that out. All you need to keep in mind is the big picture. The big picture is you want to live a passionate life, and you want to pursue greatness through your deepest passions in life. And you do not want to live a life where you're not enjoying yourself. You don't want to live a life where you lack passion. So if you keep that at the forefront of your mind, you keep the big picture of, I want to live a passionate life. I want to do more and more and more of my deepest passions. I want to enjoy my life, and I realize the way to enjoy my life is by doing more of the things that I enjoy. If you keep that in mind, then all the small, steps in between will unravel, and you'll figure it out along the way. And you'll find resources and people and mentors and videos and books to help you along that journey. And if you like this video, you can stick around for other videos I'll release which will help you along this journey, because here's some other things I wanted to go through at the end of this. There's going to be a couple of different challenges in your pursuit of greatness through your deepest passions. Number one is going to be just the practical kind of skill-based, like getting better at the skill, right? That's going to be challenging. Let's say you want to become great at guitar. Then the challenge is skillfully that's going to be challenging, right? Skillfully that's going to be challenging. You're going to have to really put in a lot of effort, and you're going to have to overcome the difficulty of getting better and better at that. And skillfully that's going to be a challenge. The second challenge is going to be just logistically. Do you have enough time? Do you have enough energy to actually put into your passions? Because you're working a job that's taking a lot of your time, and that's draining you of energy. And so logistically, do you have enough time, energy, and focus to put into your passions? So that's going to be another challenge that you experience. But again, you can overcome that. You can keep getting better and better, right? And then it's also going to be a mind challenge, a psychological challenge, and a spiritual challenge. Because what's going to happen is you're going to experience resistance. You're going to experience negativity. You're going to experience thoughts, ideas, beliefs that hold you back from pursuing greatness through your passions. Maybe you're going to start to think this isn't realistic. I can't pursue great. I'm not going to become great. Maybe it'll be beliefs about yourself, an identity level belief where I'm not the type of person that can do that. I can't become great. Maybe you'll have self-esteem issues. Again, all psychological, all to do with the mind. Maybe you'll believe it's not possible, it's unrealistic. I'm not going to be able to make money in this passion of mine, right? Whatever it is, you're going to have psychological challenges. And that's where the rest of my videos that I'll be releasing are going to really help you. I'm going to go through the psychological challenges you're going to experience and how to overcome that. The spiritual challenges you're going to have with your consciousness, right? Your state of consciousness, which is a core element in spirituality, is going to make it either easier to pursue your passions or harder. Your state of consciousness. Remember this, write it down. I don't have enough time in this video, and it's a bit off topic to go through that in detail, but just make a note of it. State of consciousness. Research it, right? This is going to affect how easy or how hard it is to pursue your passions, right? Your state of consciousness is actually going to determine whether you even care about this, whether you even have a desire, how strong the desire is, how strong the joy of the passion you experience as well. And so realize that there's going to be skill-based challenges, logistic-based challenges, psychological challenges, and spiritual challenges. And so I'm not saying this path is going to be easy. It's not. Ironically, you're not always going to enjoy pursuing your passions, because you have psychological and spiritual roadblocks, for lack of a better word, that are going to make it hard for you to pursue it. And it's also because not many people are doing it. Like I said, like your society, your culture isn't promoting this. So you're going to have to self-motivate yourself. And you're also going to have to find people to, be around that are doing this. And that's not easy to do, because not many people are doing it. There are people, don't get me wrong, but not many people are going to be pursuing their passions at the level that you want to. And so you're going to have to self-motivate. You're going to have to find the right people. And you're going to have to overcome these psychological and spiritual roadblocks. And ironically, you're not going to enjoy pursuing your passions all the time. However, you're going to enjoy it a lot more, even with all of those challenges. The level of enjoyment that you're going to have is probably, if I had to guess, 1,000 times more. I don't know the exact amount, but 1,000 times more than not pursuing your passions. So even though there's going to be challenges, there's going to be suffering, there's going to be roadblocks that you have to overcome, right? And you're going to start to experience the irony of, I don't actually always enjoy doing the things that I thought I enjoyed. But really, it's still going to be far, far more enjoyable than just living an average life where you don't pursue your passions. And it's going to be more meaningful. And when you do start to overcome those challenges, you're going to experience higher and higher levels of joy. You're going to have you're going to become psychologically and spiritually adept at enjoying your passions even more. And that's where it's going to get interesting, right? And so wherever you are on the journey, it doesn't really matter. What matters is you have this vision in your mind. I'm going to become great at my passions, and I'm going to live a passionate life. I'm going to enjoy my life, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to do more and more of the things I truly enjoy doing, because I just want to do them for no other reason than I enjoy doing them. And I'm going to pursue my passions, and I'm going to follow my passions. And if anybody says it's unrealistic, if anybody questions it or judges me, fuck them. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing them. And that's all that matters, is just that you care. That you care about living a passionate life. That's the main thing, the caring of it. If you care, you're in a good place. All you have to start doing is figuring out your passions and pursuing them. And whenever you need a motivational kick, come back to this video. Comment below, right? And if at the time of this video, I'm still doing coaching, if you're watching this, maybe you're watching this far in the future, I don't know. But there should be a link to one-on-one coaching where you can get your first taster session for free. If I'm still doing it, again, I'm not really sure, but it depends when you watch this video. But hopefully I'm still doing this taster session for free, where we can literally hop on a one-on-one coaching call and we can talk about this topic in even more detail, and I can help you figure out how to apply it into your life individually for your specific situation. But again, if that's not available, just come back to this video and then think through it for yourself. Do I want to live a passionate life? And what's the alternative? What's the alternative to pursuing greatness through my deepest passions? What's the alternative? There's not much of an alternative. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Last thing I want to say is, as far as I know, you've got one life. So you may as well enjoy it. Right? If you have the opportunity to enjoy it, if you're not stuck in a third world country in extreme poverty, if you're in a developed country where survival isn't as hard, anywhere near as hard as it used to be, or it is for some people nowadays, if you're so lucky to live in 2026 in a developed country where survival is fairly easy now, then my question to you is, why would you not pursue your passions when you actually have the opportunity to do so? Because billions of people never had that opportunity. But you do. It's a gift. It's a gift. Instead of wasting your life away, living a life that you don't actually enjoy, you've been given a gift where you have the opportunity to enjoy your life at the highest levels. Instead of wasting it away being ungrateful and playing the victim and hating your life, or just going through an average existence, why not pursue greatness through your deepest passions? Why not?